Hey guys, Sophia here with Turquoise Toffee, and I'm back with another video. Today we're talking about the 2024 IFBB Pro League Adela Garcia Pro Fitness results. Finally, a fitness show. We haven't had one for a while. I have missed it. I have been waiting and waiting to see these gorgeous women in their beautiful suits and their costumes and all of the flair and all of the energy. And here we are. And this was a fabulous one. Another athlete qualified for Olympia. So exciting. Okay, now in terms of Olympia, the top three from last year are automatically qualified, and then the winner of any fitness open division contest that happens within the qualification period will also be qualified. So our first place girl gets to go. So here's a look at the scorecard. It's always interesting looking at the scorecards in the fitness division. So at the end of the day, in terms of points, it's the total that matters. We had Allison in first, Michaela in second, Amber in third, Amanda in fourth, and Missy in fifth. But if you look a little bit more carefully, you'll see that Allison was in first place for the judging. So that's the physique round, which is worth 1/3 of the score. But then there was a tie for first place in the finals, which is the routine. So that's their choreographed number in the outfit with all of the gymnastics and strength and energy. So that's really unusual. I have not seen a tie in a long time. So that's pretty cool. But at the end of the day, because Allison did so well in the physique round, her score was still a lot lower and gave her that first place compared to Michaela. But it definitely bumped Michaela up. She wasn't as high in the rankings for her physique. You can see Amber actually scored second place, but her number got her into second. A little close between Amber and Michaela, but very exciting. But a clear win for Allison, best physique and ultimately the best routine and the best score, first place. Okay, so looking at our fifth place winner, Missy, she looks great. I really like her upper body. Her shoulders, her lats, the V-taper is stunning. Really nice width coming into a super narrow midsection. You see this gorgeous hollowness here. The empty space right here where you can see through to the background of the stage is awesome. Just this gorgeous curve, really nice flow between the delt, the lat, and her glute. She's got nice size in her legs, but I do think she needed a little bit more conditioning. Like I'm not getting that bubbly shape to the hamstring. I'm not seeing where the glute and the ham come together. I think there could be more detail and lines coming through in the quad itself. Some of those, the teardrop shape. Her abs look really nice. Her obliques look good, and her shoulders look amazing. But I do think lower body, she needed more of leanness to get that detail and those lines to come through. But her posing looks lovely. Her suit is gorgeous. I love how the wavy pattern draws your eyes up towards her shoulders. It really accentuates that V-taper, I think. Beautiful earrings, beautiful hair. Her hair's off her shoulders. She's doing everything right with the posing. Her waistline looks super small. Just a little more detail to carve out the muscles in her legs, I think would have been amazing. But she looks great. And there's a look at her routine. Okay, next and fourth is Amanda. The first thing I noticed were the hamstrings. Stunning. So you've got this great curvy shape. She's a little bit more lean than our last competitor, so you've got this groove coming down the side of her leg. You definitely notice the curve of her quad sweep. A lot more detail, particularly in the upper abs. Her tan looks really good too. It's a little darker. She's got a bit more gloss. So just the muscles are really coming through. Great definition into the delts. So I'm liking the detail and I'm liking the curves in her legs. I do think she could have a little bit more flatness to the midsection, particularly below the belly button. I know that's extremely difficult, but perhaps there's a posing tweak if she twisted a little bit more to the front or just tried to vacuum it in. I'm not sure. But either way, I think overall her silhouette looks really good. She's got some nice lat, beautiful coloring in the suit. It's really pretty with a nice complement to her lipstick, her blonde hair. Everything just flows together really nicely. I love this giant cocktail ring. It's just, she looks really polished, like she's having a lot of fun, and she looks beautiful. The conditioning looks stunning. I really like the lines in her arms, and I think you can see she's got some good size to the muscles in her arms as well. Posing really well to really show off the curves in those legs. So an amazing fourth place from her. And there's a look at her routine. Again, beautiful colors. Okay, now here's Amber in third place. We leveled up with the conditioning with Amber compared to the other athletes we've seen so far. So she is hard, she is firm, she is tight, and she is detailed. You've got six-pack abs, you've got crazy lines in her arms, you've got vascularity, you've got outlined delts, you've got ribs, you've got detail in the leg, you've got the line coming down her quad, you've got detail in the quads. Her calves are like popping out. She looks amazing. The conditioning is noteworthy. It is extremely eye-catching in the lineup. You notice her lines the best. I also think her tan is perfect. It's so rich and dark. The gloss everywhere is really complementing the delts, the curve of her bicep, the shape of her glute. She really nailed it with the color of the tan, the gloss. The suit is really pretty colors. I think she looks amazing. She's got great size as well. You've got good curves to the quad sweep. Her upper body looks incredible. Really nice size in the delts. The only thing that I would suggest here with Amber is perhaps to relax this arm a little bit. I find that by having the elbow so bent and the hand so high, it's drawing all of my attention like here, a straight line between the two hands. And I noticed the other girls in this kind of twisted front pose are a little bit more relaxed in the arm and it's pulling down. So that's something to try, although maybe she's doing this strategically to try to draw your eye to the width between the elbows. The other thing I would suggest too is her waistline is so tight and trim and really good definition, but I find that she's almost too forward facing in her midsection, so I'm losing the tininess of her waist. So maybe by having less forward and more profile or a little bit more of an angle to the corner of the room, it might help to make the waist look thinner and then really accentuate the lat and the V taper. So that's just the only thing I noticed, but so impressed by her conditioning and her size. She looks really good. And there's a look at her routine. Definitely noticed the quad and the traps. Awesome. Okay, next in second place is Michaela, and I am loving her playing with angles. You can tell by the way she's leaning, by the way she's posing, she's doing a really good job of showing the width of her upper body and the narrowness of her waistline, right? Just by having her hand in a little bit more rather than on the very side of her oblique, it makes her waist look tiny, like I see from here to here being her waist rather than from here to the edge. So very clever. I think it looks really good. Definitely highlighting the curve of her glute and a nice match with the curve of her lat. She's got a lot of size in the legs. She's got some pretty good detail coming through in the quads too, but I think she needs more delt. The shoulders to me look really straight across, and even though she has some nice curves on the side and clearly some good size to her arms, I feel like she could have a little bit more of that bolder kind of look, a little more height to the top of the delts. But I love her suit. I love the bold lipstick. Her dark hair looks sleek and luxurious. I like the straight. Like, she looks really good. It's a great pose for her. But yeah, a little bit more size in the delts, I think, would really accentuate the V taper. There's a look at her routine. She always has great costumes and really fun routines. And now in first place, Allison. So she nails everything on the head. Her conditioning is awesome. So you're seeing lines, you're seeing detail. The shoulders are outlined. Her midsection looks super tight. Lots of lines in the legs. The hamstrings are popping compared to the quads. The glutes have a great curve and the quads have a great curve. The calves are really highlighted. Just her conditioning is really good. A lot of detail. Her tan is also really good. So there's that richness in the color, the gloss. You're seeing the detail. You're seeing the muscle. Beautiful contrast with the color in her suit, the dark hair, the makeup. Everything looks really good. Her waistline looks tiny. I think she's doing a really good job of being quite sideways in this photo, certainly from where the photographer is standing. You're seeing that crazy width into the narrow waist. Like, her V-taper is really good, really clear. I would think that she could maybe adjust the fit of the suit a little bit more. I think she could do a little bit bigger triangles or just pull the suit more to the side just so that you see more fabric. And I think that'll even accentuate more the width in her upper body. She's got a lot of lat and a lot of width between the shoulders. But standing beautifully, the sideways profile shot is really good for her. I like that her toe is still facing forward, so you see the curve of the leg, you see the tininess of her waistline, and man, she just looks beautiful. She's always so pretty, big smile, great makeup, and she's kind of glowy, so I love it. There's a look at her routine. And then side by side, I think Allison really stands out for her V-taper. She's got a lot of width between her shoulders, right? A lot of size in the lats and then a really narrow waistline. Amber has great detail. The conditioning in her legs is unreal, but her midsection doesn't look as narrow when you have her standing next to Allison. I think Amber has incredibly good shoulders. When I look at everyone across the board, 5th, 4th, and 2nd all need more shoulders to compare to Amber. Allison, though, I think does a really good job with the V-taper shape. Amanda and Michaela, fabulous size in the legs, really good quad sweep. Missy, I think, has good size too, but you're missing some of that detail. She's got a really pretty overall silhouette, but more of the lines I think need to come through. But Allison has the V-taper, she's got the detail, and she's got the curve in her legs and the small waist that really do draw your eyes to her. And then from behind, I still think Allison takes the attention here because of that width in her back to the narrowness in her waist. I think Amber has a really impressive amount of size in her back. Michaela does as well, but here I still think she needs more size in the delts, but also Michaela, Amanda, and Missy, I think, could have had more detail and conditioning to show off more of the glute ham tie-ins, a little bit more definition of the hamstrings themselves. You can see Allison and Amber have a lot more of that lines and grooves and really detailed shadows coming through with their conditioning. Allison's glutes look really full and round and a really nice size compared to her legs. And I feel like Amber's glutes, because she's so lean, are a little bit more on the narrow side. You know, you've got Michaela's very rounded glutes on that side. Allison's a little larger here. But perhaps having a smaller cut to her suit would help just so that she can keep being super lean, but have a little bit less fabric covering the glutes themselves. Just an idea. Anyway, I think it was a really great show for Allison. She did fabulous. And there she is. I'm adding her to the list for 2024 Olympia. And of course, there are more recaps still to come from last weekend. It was a super busy weekend, and a few more to come from this weekend. So make sure you subscribe, give me a like if you like this video, comment your thoughts below, and come find me. I'm on Instagram at turquoise toffee.